It ended with that great song by the Zombies. I'm sorry, not by the Zombies, although that is one of my favorite bands. Great song by Cranberries, Zombie, and I note that song connects pretty nicely with a couple of other Irish tunes, and so I'm going to start with an Irish tune that is going to remind you, for good reason, of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And this song, notice how I'm getting ready while I'm talking to you. This song was written by none other than Bobby Sands. Bobby Sands was on a hunger strike in Armagh Prison in the 1980s because of the cruel oppression of the British. He was a prisoner along with others there, and he was famous because he went on a hunger strike and he passed away. Before he passed away, he wrote this song. This song is about Robert Emmet. Robert Emmet was one of the leaders of the 1798 rebellion. I saw today somebody said, if you know who gets ousted, or some of the people that are in power should not only be ousted, but they should be drawn and quartered. Robert Emmet was the last person who was ever drawn and quartered by the British Empire because it was considered cruel and unusual punishment. But the rest of it was he was killed, but all of his followers were deported to Tasmania, which at that time was known as Van Diemen's Land. Bobby Sands wrote these, wrote the lyrics to this song on cigarette papers with a stub of a pencil that he smuggled in with him because he wasn't supposed to be writing because his writings were considered seditious. This is in the 1980s. The person who owns those cigarette papers has stood on this very stage. Derek Warfield was given the cigarette papers by the Sands family because of the work that he did for Irish justice. So, there's all kinds of oppression. And great singer-songwriter Christy Moore, great Irish singer-songwriter Christy Moore, took those words and he put them to the melody of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald because Bobby Sands liked Gordon Lightfoot so much. And Derek Warfield and the Young Wolf Tones are an amazing band. Derek Warfield has been doing Irish music, mostly Irish music with some kind of historical, political context for over 50 years. You can catch them on various Zoom events right now, and they've come here a number of times. They're very good friends with, Derek Warfield's very good friends with Bill Comerford, who's one of the owners of the bar. And speaking of which, we want to thank Bill for all the times that he has supported us and continues to support us. This GoFundMe campaign, if you see up here, up to your right, to my left, that's the brainchild of Alex, David Alex Whitney, who's taking care of all the tech stuff, and also the GoFundMe, and also Bill Comerford, who is making sure that the musicians who have nothing coming in, and especially those who have, Alex has shown me he still has all 10 fingers. I don't know what that means. What?
Nine people on.
Hi, 9 people. Back home in Derry. In 1803 we sailed out at sea, bound from the sweet town of Derry. For Australia bound, and if we didn't all drown, the marks of our fetters we carried, and our rusty iron chains we cried for our wings. Good when we laughed in sorrow, as the mainsails unfurled, the curses we hurled at the English and thoughts of tomorrow. At the mouth of the foil bid farewell to the soil, as down below decks we were lying, Why a darty screen walking out of a dream, by a vision of old Robert dying. Well, the sun burned us cruel as we fished out our pool. John O'Connor was down with the fever. 60 rebels today bound for Botany Bay. How many will reach their receiver? I wish I was back home in Derry. I wish I was back home in Derry. Well, they cursed him to hell as the bow fought the swell. Our ship danced like a moth in the firelight. White horses went by as the devil rode by, taking souls to Hades by twilight. 5 weeks out to sea, we were now 43. We buried our comrades each morning. In our slime we were lost in the time of an endless night without dawning. I wish I was back home in Derry. I wish I was back home in Derry. Where the climate is raw and the gun makes the law. Neither wind nor the rain cares for bravery. 20 years have gone by, I have ended my bonds. My comrades' ghosts walk beside me. As a rebel I came, and I'm still the same. On the cold winds of night you will find me. I wish I was back home in Derry. 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 Thank you. So this is another song, Irish songs about, you know, either having it stuck to you by the man or sticking it to the man, go back for literally hundreds of years. And one of the great things about Derek is the first time that I met him, he came and he played at the Irish Rose and I opened for him. I was lucky, I was pretty nervous, so I did a bunch of songs I didn't think most people would do and a couple of my own tunes. And some of the tunes I did, I had a couple of questions about what certain things meant, where they came from historically. And after my set and after his first set, and we were having a round, he said, there was some fine singing there, James. You know that's one song there. That fella that you're singing about in that song, I was 26 years old, he had 7 children, and he was a lawyer, and he wrote that song in his spare time. And then he proceeded to answer the question I had for that song, and then he proceeded to answer the question that I had for the other 2 songs as well. So he was able to know from hearing me sing that I wasn't totally informed, and then he would make sure that I was informed. But great guy. This song is called Arthur McBride and the Sergeant. The definitive version is by Paul Brady. Great version called Arthur McBride and the Sergeant. This one is sometimes called On Christmas Day in the Morning. And 2 guys are out for a walk, and the Brits come up and say, you should join the army, and they say no, and they say, well, we're going to slice you in 2 if you don't, and they beat them up with their shillelaghs and run away. It's a Christmas song. We're going to play a little bit slower than usual because, well, To tell you the truth, I haven't. I've been sick. I had a first cousin called Arthur McBride, and we took a stroll right down by the seaside. Yes, seeking our fortune, what might betide. It was just as the day was a dawning, and after breakfast we all took a tramp. Yeah, we met Sergeant Harper and Corporal Cram beside the wee drummer that beat up for camp with his rowdy dow-dow in the morning. He said, my young fellows, if you will enlist, a guinea you quickly shall have in your fist, besides a wee crown for to kick off the dust and drink the king's health in the morning. And we've been such fools as to take the advance. For a wee bit of fortune we'd have to run chance. You'd think it no scruples to send us to France, where we would be killed in the morning. He said, my young fellows, if I hear but one word, I instantly now will launch out my sword, and into your bodies a strength will afford. Now we gay devils take warning, but Arthur and I, we took in the odds. We gave him no chance for to launch out their blades. Our whacking ladies came over their heads and paid them right smart in the morning. We rifled his pouch and we made a football of his rowdy dow-dow, threw it into the ocean to rock and to roll, and made it a tedious returning. As for the old rapier that hung by his side, we flung it as far as we could in the tide. To the devil I pet, just as Arthur McBride, to tamper your steel in the morning. I had a first cousin called Arthur McBride, and we took a stroll right down by the seaside, a-seeking of fortune and what might betide. It being all on Christmas morning, and after breakfast we both took a tramp. Sergeant Harper, Corporal Cram, beside the wee drummer beat up for camp with his rowdy dow-dow, with his rowdy dow-dow, with his rowdy dow-dow in the morning. Thank you. Songs about justice, having justice done.
A Christmas song.
It's got a fine spirit to it. It's got some green, it's got some red. And it's got some human pinatas. This is something that made me think of, there's a great connection between like the Sal Patricio Brigade. You know, the Sal Patricio Brigade was a bunch of Irishmen, and they were told, and now I forget whether they're Americans or they were in the American Army, and they went down to Mexico as part of that war, and they were told to go in and desecrate churches, and they refused to do it, and they were all hung. And then that sort of set up a thing where the Irish would come and help the Mexicans in terms of their own struggle for independence. So that's the through line in my head to this next song. This is the great Townes Van Zandt song, made popular by various people, but especially Emmylou Harris, Willie Nelson. Living on the road, my friend, will keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, your breath's as hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only boy, just her favorite one, it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye. Then you sank into your dreams. Pancho was a bandit boy, he had a horse as fast as polished steel. He wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, in the desert town in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying word. That's the way it goes. All the federales say could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Pancho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. They let poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio. But where he got the bread to go, there ain't nobody knows. All the federales say could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Poets tell how Pancho fell and Lefty's living in some cheap hotel. The desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold, so the story ends, we're told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, but save a few for Lefty too. He only did what he had to do. But now he's growing old. All the federales say could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Few great federales say could have had him any day. They only let him go so long out of kindness, I suppose. Thank you. Hey, we are excited today. I'm excited today because I'm really glad Helene could come, and I'm also glad that Steph could come today. We had a lot of people that were busy. We're happy to say that musicians are getting busy doing various things. They're not quite gigging yet. If you have a solution where you can talk to the mayor or talk to the governor and get us back so we're gigging again, please think about that. We know that singing seems to be a flashpoint but we are rarely closer than 10 feet away. We are, especially if we're playing solo, and we are mindful of the crowds because that's part of our job. So we try to keep it under wraps a little bit. Trying to think of what to do next. Well, that was kind of a Western tune, so I'm going to do this next tune. This is a tune I wrote. I had the good fortune to be in a movie called To End All Wars. It was filmed on Kauai, and in that film were Kiefer Sutherland and Robert Carlyle, Jimmy Cosmo from Braveheart, and also Game of Thrones, and Mark Strong, who's famous these days as a villain, and a bunch of people from the amazing Akira Kurosawa films. And in that movie, there was a torture scene, and in the torture scene, they were going to put insects on Kiefer Sutherland, and they needed somebody to take care of the bugs, so they had a guy called a bug wrangler. So this song is appropriately called Bug Wrangler. It's a Western. I want to give thanks to, give recognition to Ghost Riders in the Sky, because if I do this, you can do that at home. I asked Alex to get the sound of a real bullwhip, and we could just press a button, but he tried, but it didn't quite work out. There was a latency issue with Zoom. So you want to imagine on our green screen back here, there's a setting sun, purple sky, cliffs and buttes, and chaparral, sound of a coyote howling just 4 or 5 feet away from you. I think somebody's at the door. The coyote doesn't say that. While you're sitting there by the fire, having your last cup of coffee for the day after the roundup, an insect comes buzzing by and puts you in mind. Because from Chaco Canyon all the way up to Cheyenne, he's a fellow that's known in the hearts and minds of the people. But he's less rarely, more rarely. Well, anyway, ain't nobody ever sung a song about him, so I figured I'd give it a try. You see, he eschewed his mama's hugs. He was lying on the living room rug, collecting lots of little bugs. He's the bug wrangler. He was down among the stems and reeds, wrangling up some centipedes, enticing them with guts and seeds. He's the bug wrangler. He started out small, and he stayed that way. He's gonna wrangle bugs till his dying day. Bugwra, Ngler. He wasn't afraid of their pins and needles. If he saw a bug eater like he'd wheedle it, singing this song sung by the Beatles. Bug wrangler, Beatles, get it? From Ecuador to El Paso and Beijing to Burkina Faso, with his magic tiny lasso, bug wrangler. He started out small and stayed that way. Gonna wrangle bugs till his dying day. Yeah, Bugwra, Ngler. Other wranglers drank their beers to overcome their insect fears. They could only rustle steers, but wrangler. Other wranglers, they would squirm and get OCD about catching germs. He'd be out collecting worms, but wrangler. He started out small and stayed that way. He's gonna wrangle bugs till his dying day. Yeah, Bugwra, Ngler. Well, of hearing that song, this song, makes you think of a time you saw a guy, you were down in Yuma, Arizona, and you saw a guy walking down the street with a 10-gallon hat, and you looked really close. And his orange hat band was actually some perfectly choreographed monarch butterflies. If you're driving down the road in Sydney, Nebraska, and you heard a whistle, and you looked over, and all these grasshoppers piled in the back of a guy's Ford F-150, that's the bug wrangler. Roaming around the Great West in the arroyos and the wild plains and up and down the Tetons and in the geysers and all over the place. There he is, making the world safe for those of us who have more than 4 legs. And have you heard those stories? If you know those stories, or hell, if you just want to make a few of them up, we want you to send them in to insectcowboy.org. That's insectcowboy.org. It's a 501c3 dedicated to the proposition that more people should treat insects the way most people treat ungulates. Other wranglers, they would squirm and get OCD about catching germs. He'd be out collecting worms, bug wrangler. Witcha! Ecuador to El Paso and Beijing to Burkina Faso with his magic tiny lasso bug wrangler. He started out small and stayed that way. Gonna wrangle bugs till his dying day. B-U-G-W-R-A and G-L-E-R. B-U-G-W-R-A. Bug wrangler, wrangler, wrangler. Thank you. That about does it for me, and I bet you're glad after that, because who knows what realms of the mind we might be visiting after that particular number. I'm really glad to have my friend Steph Mariani, Steph Music, as we have known her, here with her accomplice. We're going to take that little while, and we're going to try to show you our genes as little as possible as we move stuff around on the stage and make way for the Steph Mariani duo. Thank you very much for being here. Remember that we are open. O'Toole's is open, Kelly O'Neill's is open, Irish Rose is open, and what's the other one? Oh, Anna's is open. And we have hot dogs. So come have a hot dog and see us, because we miss you. And this is what we'll have for music for now. But hope that's good with you. Thank you very much. Clear to state.